We're going to do a quick video of the new run-up procedures at Genesis. When we're running the engine, we want to make sure we do not exceed some of the temperatures that are that are labeled. When we're doing the start, we want to make sure that we don't give it too much throttle, and we're looking for RPM start around 1,000 RPM. And we're going to check the oil pressure, and then we're going to do the after check start checklist. So once we're getting ready to taxi, we want to make sure the engine oil's warmed up a bit. We're going to make sure we don't exceed 1,300 RPM plus or minus a little bit while we're taxiing and the engine oil is still relatively cool. So we're going to go to the run-up. We've got our 75 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to go to the fullest, the least fullest tank. We're going to bring the RPM up to 1,500 RPM for the first part of the run-up. So we got our 1,500 RPM. We're going to make sure the fuel pressure was within the range on the checklist, and it looks like it's good. So then we're going to put the fuel pump on, and we're going to check some of the other things, alternate air. Check the electrical load, so putting everything on to test the alternator, making sure it's within the range that we're looking for. And we're also going to test lean. We're going to lean the engine. We're looking for a drop in the fuel flow. You can see it drops to 3.1, and that shows us that as we bring the mixture back, it does drop the fuel flow. We're going to go to the fullest tanks, and we're going to look to see if the oil temperature is at least 100 degrees Fahrenheit to start the high part of our high RPM part of the run-up, where we'll go to 2,000 RPM. This part is actually fairly short, which is better for the engine. We're going to do the mag check and look to see if the drop is within the parameters on the checklist. And it is. Then we're going to check the prop. We're going to cycle the prop 3 times. We're looking for a drop in the RPM of up to 300 RPM. And we're also looking for a change in the oil pressure. As the oil flows into the hub, it's going to drop the oil pressure, so we see that that's happening. And we're also listening for a difference in sound of the propeller. Then we're going to do a slow idle, or bring it back to a slow idle, just to make sure that the engine continues to run. And once we're finished that, we can bring it back up to 1,000 RPM, which is kind of the standard idle RPM. And we're going to check all the engine gauges, check the circuit breakers to make sure they're all okay. Fuel pump is off, and then we take the brake off and we're ready to taxi to the runway. And that's the new run-up. Again, it's intended to be a little bit easier on the engine by reducing the high RPM.